Hello all and welcome to today's video. My name is John McFall and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery, and I also teach you how to make semi-passive income. In today's video, I want to talk to you about 4 different things that you can do right now to help get you up to that $25 to $30 an hour on a regular basis. I talk about it all the time in my videos, the different things that you can do to make that money that you want to make when you're out here doing food delivery. It can be done in most marketplaces. Other times it cannot be done in some marketplaces because the marketplace won't sustain it. So today I want to give you 4 tips that you can use right now to get that $25 to $30 an hour and make the money that you want for you and your family. Before we get into the topic, I do want to remind you that down here in my description, I always have a copy of my metric spreadsheet. This is a free thing that I've put together for you guys so you know how you're doing when you're out here doing food delivery. I'm going to throw it up here on the screen real quick so you guys can take a quick look at it. If you look at the left-hand side, you'll see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles, and then if you head to the right, you'll see for each individual app, I put the dollars that I've made, the time that I worked, along with the number of deliveries. Then head to the bottom and you'll see it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, and your average per delivery. If you want to know how well you're doing when you're out here doing food delivery, the only way that you can is to keep track of your numbers. And when you do this, it will help you see where you need to improve. So go down into my description and go grab a copy of it for yourself. And with that, let's get into the topic. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is multi-apping. And a lot of people are very diehard and they only want to work on one platform. But if you only work on one platform when there are all 3, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub in a marketplace, you are limiting yourself on the amount of money that you can make. The reason this is because the apps send requests to you when you are out working, and if you're only working on one app and not multiple apps, then you will not see the orders that will get you the money that you want to earn, because an order might come across, let's say on Uber Eats, and that order might be paying $6 or $7. However, if you have GrubHub on at the same time, you could actually get an order for, let's say, $12 or $13 instead of that $6 or $7, and you can pick the better order out of the 2. I work in 2 different marketplaces, and when I'm in Fort Wayne, which is a population of 265,000 people, I turn on all the apps because all the apps are really busy in that marketplace. The reason I turn on all the apps is because I know where I can go to get orders on all of the apps, and I can get the best orders because I have multiple options running multiple apps. So using multiple apps when you're out here doing food delivery, if your marketplace sustains it, then that is the best route to go. I will say that when I'm in Auburn, I cannot turn on GrubHub because they have nothing up there. There is Uber Eats, which is pretty sporadic, and DoorDash only. So your marketplace really determines what you can do when you're out there doing food delivery and what apps you can get on. That's going to lead me into my second point, which is something that I talk about in a lot of my videos also, which is you have got to understand how the apps work in your marketplace. You've got to know what the apps do, and you've got to know which ones are the best one in your marketplace. And this can change over time. Last year at this time, Uber Eats was my cash cow. They were giving me the best orders and the most pay when I was out doing food delivery. But this year it's different. This year when I go out, I turn on GrubHub first because GrubHub has really stepped up to the plate, and they send me better orders than I get on Uber Eats now. So GrubHub is now my cash cow. So you've really got to understand how the apps work in your marketplace to get the most money. And on top of that, you also have to understand how your marketplace works. And what I mean by this is you have got to go out into your marketplace and you have got to find those spots where you can get the orders that you want to get. In my videos, I call them sweet spots, and I've got 5 of them in Fort Wayne. When I go down into Fort Wayne, I have 5 different areas that I know I can go to get orders on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub, because those areas send me offers for all 3 platforms all the time. And these 5 spots are spots that I figured out because I went out into my marketplace and learned it and analyzed it to see where those spots were. And if you do this, then you're going to have a better chance of getting better money because you know where all the apps will send you orders. I always recommend to have a minimum of about 3 to 4 of these spots in your marketplace if they have them. Again, going back to Auburn, when I'm up in Auburn, a population of 15,000 people, it's a very small market, and there is literally only one spot. It's a quarter-mile strip that has most of the restaurants that I go to when I'm doing food delivery there. However, when I go into Fort Wayne, I have 5 different hotspots, and the reason I have more than one of my sweet spots, as I've defined them, is because sometimes I will drive into one of my sweet spots on a particular day and it's just not producing, so I have others that I can tap into. Typically, by the time I get to that second or third one, I start getting the orders that I'm looking for. So make sure that you understand the apps and make sure you understand how the marketplace works. The third thing, and another thing that I do when I'm out here doing food delivery to make that $25 to $30 an hour, is I take orders on multiple apps at the same time. You have really got to know and understand how to do this to be successful at it and to not have any problems with the apps when you're out there doing food delivery, because if you are late to a delivery, it goes against you. If you're extremely late to a delivery, it can cause you a contract violation. So when you're out here doing food delivery and you want to make that $25 to $30 an hour, doing multiple orders at the same time is a good way and a good strategy to help you get there. The biggest thing that you have to understand when you are out there doing multiple orders is 2 things. The first thing you got to understand is what is the time that the apps expect the orders to be delivered. Because if an order, you pick it up and the app expects that you're going to deliver it, let's say within 5 minutes, and it's a 2-mile drive, you know that you don't have time to grab another order. However, if the app is telling you that you have 20 or let's say 30 minutes to get that order delivered, then you can grab multiple orders because you have the time to go to the restaurants and drop off locations and get it done within the time the apps expect it. The second thing that's really, really important that you have to do when you're multi-apping and taking multiple orders is you have got to know where the drop-off locations are. Because if you get 2 orders and let's say the restaurants are right next to each other, but one order is going here and the other order is going, let's say 6 miles, 7 miles away from that, that is not a good choice to take those orders. So what you want to try to do is you want to look at the maps when the apps send you requests, and you want to try to get orders where here's the 2 restaurants and you drop off the first order here and you drop off the second order here, so you're kind of going in the same direction for both orders. It's very important. And if you really look at the time that they are giving you to get the order complete and you understand the drop-off locations, you can take more than one order at a time on multiple apps. The fourth and the final one I want to talk to you about is long distance deliveries. A lot of people shy away from them. There's a lot of gig tubers out here that tell you do not take any orders that are over, let's say 2 to 4 miles, and this is just not the case. If you've done the other things that I've suggested in this video, which is Number one, using multiple apps. Number two, understanding the apps and your marketplace and having your defined sweet spots. If you get an order that's, let's say, picking up here and it's delivering even, 12, 13, 15 miles away, but it is landing you into another one of your sweet spots, it is okay to grab an order that is going to be long distance. And you don't really have to shy away from them because, number one, they pay you more money to take orders longer distances on all of the apps, whether it's DoorDash or Uber Eats or GrubHub. Typically, they will send you offers, and if they are long distance, they will give you a higher dollar amount for driving that distance. And then if you pick it up and you drop it off in a location that is in another one of your sweet spots, then this is a good order to take because when you get to that drop-off location that you're in a spot that you can get more orders. So don't be afraid to take those long distance orders so that you can make that $25 to $30 an hour when you're out there doing food delivery, because it is not a bad thing to do. So to recap, what I talked about today is, number one, taking orders on multiple apps. Multi-apping is the best way to get the most money when you're out here because it gives you the most options in the orders that you will receive. So you can pick the best option out of the three apps if you are running all three of them. The second thing I talked about is understanding how the apps work in your marketplace and also understanding your marketplace. Go out there and find those, minimum 3 to 4 sweet spots so that you can get the orders that you are looking to take. The third thing that I talked about was taking multiple orders on the apps at the same time. It is completely doable. It is completely okay to do as long as you know where the drop-off locations are and you know what the time is that the apps expect the orders to be dropped off. The fourth and the final thing I talked about is taking those long distance orders. Try it out if you haven't done it before, because you might find that you're going to make a lot more money if you take those long distance orders that land you in another one of your sweet spots. These are 4 great strategies that will help get you to that $25 to $30 an hour. The last thing I want to say about it is this, is you have got to remember that when you are out here doing food delivery, you are not an employee to these apps. You are a independent contractor, which translates into the fact that you are a business owner. When you're out here doing food delivery, you are doing your own business because you are only getting a contracted amount from the platforms, and they offer you nothing else. So it is completely within your rights and your ability to make the decisions to get your business the most money that you can while you're out there. So make sure that when you're out there, you get rid of that employee mindset, you get that mindset of being a business owner and make the best decisions for your business so you can get the most money when you're out there. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video and learned a lot. I want to remind you, head down into my description and go grab that metric spreadsheet if you have not yet. Also got some other great tools down in my description. Go check them out. I've got the Beans app and SimplyWise and QuickBooks Self-Employed. I want to leave you with, I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. I'd like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I got a ton of great content, especially on my food delivery playlist, that will teach you to get that $25 to $30 an hour. And my final thing I want to say is, thanks.